Welcome to the slingshot range. It sure is a lot of fun shooting this thing. We got things that make noise as you shoot it. It's a great spot to be. But you know what? I don't always hit the target. I'm not perfect at this. This thing is not natural for me to kind of shoot and aim. It takes practice in order to do this. Really, I just want to get used to being able to how to pull back on the string, how far to pull back, work on my stance. The more I work on this, the better I get. I could probably hit that target multiple times. You know, this is my slingshot, but I want you guys to have a chance to kind of play around with a slingshot. But obviously you can't be here with me to have fun shooting at this range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to show you how to make your own kind of pocket slingshot with hopefully some things that you might have around the house or you can easily get. And a little bit later, I'm going to tell you a story about someone else who used a slingshot. Welcome. Today we're going to try to show you how to make some pocket slingshots. So the way they work, they got a balloon, I got an opening, and then you can able to pull back and fire some marshmallows. So what you might need in order to make one of these with us, hopefully are some things that you can find around the house. You need a wide mouth bottle, empty, preferably washed out, so it's nice and clean. So I would suggest if you have some sort of saw that with the parent permission, you can do that. Although you could also use a serrated knife from the kitchen, or I found that you can use scissors also. It just takes a little bit more time. The other thing that you might need is some sandpaper, and you'll need some balloons, just some regular party balloons, kind of large, and then of course some mini marshmallows would be good in order to kind of shoot those around. You can use other ammo, but this is kind of safe and fun for everyone and kind of tasty. So let me show you how it's done. So here I got the bottle, I got the saw. What I'm going to do, if you guys can see, I'm just going to try to cut so that the rim of behind the rim of the bottle right here, just kind of cutting it so it's nice and smooth. So there I have it. I've got this cap. It's kind of smooth on that end, but we're going to smooth it down some more with some sandpaper. So I'm just going to take it, I'm going to rub it so it's flat on there. Just trying to get the edge and anything that would possibly rip the balloon. Do a little bit on the inside maybe, wherever there's kind of a shred. So it's fairly smooth there. It doesn't take that much. You could try to use other things to sand it down. Another way you could do it, if with parents, you can get something hot or in order to kind of melt the plastic down just a little bit so that it's kind of smooth on there. So now we're just going to kind of take off the cap. Now with this cap, if you notice, we got the cap. We're going to keep that just for later. I'll show you why. And then we got this little rim that goes around the cap, the lid area. So we're going to take that off, but we don't want to cut it. We're just going to try to squeeze it off because we're going to use that later. So just kind of pry it. You can kind of use your fingers, or if you got a screwdriver, it works too. So I'll see how easy it is here with you guys. Use a butter knife if you need to. There, I've got it. I've got a ring, and we got the cap with, once again, the smooth end right there. Now we got that undone. That was the hard part. Now we got the fun, easy part. So we could just get our regular balloon, and what we're going to do is we're going to just get some scissors. which you'll also need, and try to kind of cut this end off the balloon. And so what we have here is just the regular balloon, once again with the end, and then we're going to try to open up that end and make it so that we can stretch that over the cap. We're going to put it over the ridge of this cap and kind of go over some of the threads of the cap. So there it is, just kind of do it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put this ring back on over this so it kind of locks it in place. So here we go. And there we have it. You can make this, you can add some little ammo to save later, and just kind of put the cap on there for fun. And then this can actually just hide in your pocket for another day, or for later. Okay, playing with slingshots today reminds me of David in the Bible. Hope that all of you are aware of the story of David, who defeated the giant soldier named Goliath. If you are unaware of the story, I would suggest reading about it in the book of 2 Samuel in the Bible. God had used David in a mighty way through that experience. But the thing I'm thinking about is how this young man did not come against the giant with just a prayer and a hope and a slingshot. That somehow his slingshot would magically hit the giant. He was conditioned for this moment. He grew up his whole life as a shepherd in a tribe that was known for slingmanship. While the sheep were grazing grass, he was probably practicing his skills as a marksman with his slingshot, which was more probably like a leather strap that he swung around and released. But still the same. He was practicing over and over again. David also shared about the battles he had with lions and beasts and how he overcame them. He was no stranger to the weapon or fighting when he came against Goliath. He was practiced and confident in his ability. However, he was no stranger to God either. It was his skill that made him able to defeat the giant, but it was his faith in God that made him bravely accept the role that God had for him. This was also conditioned through the upbringing. If you didn't know about his upbringing, we don't know much about it, but we do know that the high priest Samuel came and anointed him, which means that he was set apart and chosen to succeed as the next king. I mean, think about it. If the holiest man in all the land came and set his hands on you and said, "You are anointed by God," I would think that would change your focus on life. I can imagine that this child would think about God a lot. Also, while watching his sheep, he would think about God, practice his slingshot, think about God, practice his slingshot over and over again. So when he confronted Goliath, what did he have? He had God, faith in God, and his slingshot. And that's all God needed in order to defeat the battle. So my question to you is, what are you practicing today? Do you know that God has called you and can use you? Maybe not today. Sometimes it takes years for us to see how talents will be used. I say this because during this time, be diligent and learn and grow. Practice being mindful of God. Practice that skill you have been working on, whether it be piano or cooking or making your own videos or whether it be slingshots. God can use that if you are mindful of Him while doing it. God can use that if you are mindful of Him while doing it. He can use whatever you're doing. Let me leave you with this. May the mind of God and our Savior Jesus Christ be upon you and uphold you through this time. May His glory and favor shine on you and empower you for His good work. Blessings and take care. Hey guys, I got a fun idea with these slingshots. We're gonna do a surprise attack.
Oh my goodness! This is slingshot! Ah! That was really